to show you.
Hi, how's everybody doing out there? Well, here it is Friday night, and I'm going to be watching some horror movies, as you might have guessed. But earlier in the evening I was watching some very cool homemade footage of Faith's cemetery adventures. And I got all the way through Return to Cedar Grove, and I got halfway through West Fork and Stonehill, and I'll go back to it again, probably just before I go to bed, just prior to sunrise, and see the last one, probably sometime tomorrow. But thank you, Faith. It's wonderful to have these independent documentaries. Very, very cool in the sort of paranormal realm. Well, tonight it's Clive Barker night, and we're going to go for the gold. The ultimate Clive Barker film is the first major motion picture he directed, which is Hellraiser. And it's a film that has gone through many various permutations, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, through the years in my mind. But we'll concern ourselves with the way I see it now. And the way I see it now is it's a bloody masterpiece. And when I say bloody, I mean bloody. I used to be exceedingly squeamish, is really what I was getting to earlier. But over time I've become a little more accustomed to be able to watching certain things, and not to say that I'm not into gore, I am not. I like suspense and horror, mystery, the atmosphere of horror. Well, this has some of the gore as well, but if the story is intelligent enough, if the performances are riveting enough, well, I can endure a lot, in that case. And it's just, I keep looking down at it. It's in my mind the king of grassroots horror film productions of the 1980s, and it was sort of the late 80s it was produced. And of course the iconic figure springing out of the first film and going on to star in, I think, up to 9 films by now. That would be the original film and 8 sequels, is a fellow who's affectionately referred to as Pinhead. Although there's nothing pinheadish about him, and he is somebody you would not want to run into under any circumstances. But, of course, the people in this film do. Ashley Lawrence portrays a young girl who runs afoul of a puzzle box. And out springs Pinhead and his various Cenobites, and havoc ensues. Well, so we go from that, I think, to what is really a film that's very fondly perceived by me, Nightbreed. It too was written and directed by Clive Barker. And I think I probably saw it for the first time on cable You know, it must have been HBO in the middle of the night or something. And I didn't really even know what I was in for. I had seen the trailers on TV, and it was trumpeting the fact that Clive Barker was back directing again, as opposed to just providing outlines for films and things. And it's just, I've heard it bashed a lot on the internet, and people are entitled to their opinions. That's fine. But my own view of the thing is that it's brilliant. It really is an amazing film, and it is a film which operates very much on a mythic level. This mythic realm where the monsters live, called Midian, beneath this old graveyard. And it is a film where the mythic and the realistic converge. And that's where the thrust of the story takes place. It's also a film where, I don't know, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I certainly found myself, by the end of it, rooting for the monsters. You know, definitely a case of mankind is far more monstrous than these supposedly horrific characters and the things that they do. Nightbreed at theaters and drive-ins everywhere. As if there are any drive-ins anymore. Hardly not. Well, in conclusion, I would like nothing better, you know, being Clive Barker night, than to, you know, pull out a DVD copy of Book of Blood or Midnight Meat Train. But the fact remains, I don't own them. I'd like to, and one day I will, when my sagging budget permits me to be able to buy them. I've seen the trailers and a lot of promotion on them, and they look absolutely fantastic. So there wouldn't be any problem at all, I think, in me buying them sight unseen. Which I don't do a lot, but sometimes, with some people, you just know it's going to be alright. You know, you're better than alright. Well, in conclusion, I thought I'd go back to the well and dig up an episode that I'm very fond of from the Masters of Horror series entitled Haeckel's Tale. And it was adapted from a short story by Clive Barker. And that's the extent to which he had any you know, relationship with it, other than condoning it, of course. And I think he was around for the production to kind of, you know, look on and applaud. But it's a very grim tale. It involves this fellow who wanders the countryside very much as a sort of sideshow carnival guy in his own wagon, you know, selling snake oil, and portrays himself as a necromancer. And his big shtick is bringing back to life things that are dead. Well, this guy, as it happens, is on the level. He has really got the stuff. You know, he is by no means a charlatan. And so the story goes on to include this elderly gentleman who happens to be married to a very young woman. And the old man hires the necromancer to bring back to life the lifeless corpse of the young woman's former husband. Because the old man is not capable, it would seem, of sexually satisfying her. And so she wanders off to the graveyard and meets up again with her former husband, her late husband, and he takes care of that business along, I think, with just about every other, you know, brought back to life corpse wandering around the place. It's sort of an orgy that occurs. And add to this a young idealistic doctor who is witness to all of this and thinks that it's just wrong. He's got to do something to try to stop it. And therein lies the tale. And to say any more than that would be telling, so you won't catch me doing that. Just in case. I mean, I always think that maybe somebody might like to go who hasn't seen these films and take a look at them. You know, which you're free to do, of course. Yeah, I like that episode very much. Well, that about closes us out here this week, so I'll say bye-bye, and thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you next week.